Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Harakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, GMS, the Ruel. And those are the true prophets of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, if you want to believe that or not. Okay. Those men got the true breakdowns of the scriptures. Okay. They have the true understanding of the Bible. All right. Given to them by Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Salachya, give me 1 second. Turn off this low battery mode, Salachya. But in double honors, Salachya, and peace and salutations to the elect of the true nation of Israel, Yasharallah. This is a Salachya video, man. A correction video on myself, man, because this goes to Sunday when I went out, no, Monday when I went out there to prophesy, man. Okay, I didn't bring my garment. I had my backup, old garment, which doesn't even go to the feet or past my knees. It's like a jacket, and whatnot. It's like a jacket poncho, garment that goes barely past my hips, like my mid thighs, and because I forgot my garments at the house because I was in a rush, and how do you say it? I was wearing a tank top with my whole arms exposed and whatnot, and I was wearing shorts, above my knees and whatnot, exposing my knees and calves and my quads and whatnot. And I acknowledged that when I was out there on the highways and byways, I acknowledged that. I said Salachya beforehand. But the Spirit told me to go into it again because Apostle Dahar, I watched a Apostle Dahar video, I believe today or yesterday. I believe today. But, in one of his lessons, man, I forgot which video I was looking for the past 30, 40 minutes, man. Little bit by little bit, pressing forward, fast forward, fast forward, backwards, looking for him saying what he said was, to cover up, for lack of better words, when we're prophesying, man, to not wear shorts, wear pants, because Apostle Dar, he was saying, he wears pants, man. He doesn't expose his legs and whatnot. And Apostle Dar doesn't want to see, he said he don't want to see our legs, our calves showing and whatnot. And, that's exactly what I was doing. And Salachya, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Salachya, Apostle Dar, and the brothers out there, I'm gonna bring out some precepts, man, so you have me to cover up, I'm gonna cover up, from here on out, man. I'm not gonna wear no shorts. I'm gonna wear pants, from here on out. I'm not gonna wear no. If I wear a tank top, I'm gonna have, I'll wear a tank top, but I'm not gonna have my shoulders, showing and whatnot, because that's not why we're out there, man. We're not out there to show off our bodies, how big our muscles are, who watches our videos, man? Us brothers in this truth, the hopeful elect, and the few sisters, but this is for the elect men, okay? Us brothers, we watch our own videos, we watch each other's videos. These electronic epistles, which are letters, these are electronic letters, man. And we're watching our videos, man. We're watching each other's videos, and we don't want, the last thing we need to see is see each other half naked, man. All right, so Apostle Dar's right, man. We don't need to be seeing each other's calf muscles, our shoulders and shit popping out. Man, cover up, man. Yeah, it's hot out there. You drink some water, man. All right, it's like you're about to stutter, but you ain't gonna die. Over exhaustion. Shoot, Brothers, do construction, work in these hot ass warehouses for 8 hours plus. It ain't gonna hurt to be out there in a long sleeve or a short sleeve, some pants. Get some breathable pants, man. Some modest, breathable sweatpants or pants. I got some. I'm gonna wear those, man. All right. Or I'm gonna buy some more, some breathable ones. All right, but not bummy, if you know what I mean. Like, some regular ass sweatpants. If if I'm gonna wear some sweatpants, I'm gonna wear some nice ones, man. I'm not gonna wear no gym sweatpants or whatnot. Nah, as in like, not gym sweatpants, but like, some pajama sweatpants. Nah, man, don't be wearing no pajamas. I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, man. Because when we go out there and preach and prophesy, we're representing Yahweh Shemel Shai. We're representing the Lord. So when you go out there and prophesy, would you wear what you are wearing out there? Are you wearing what you're going to wear out there, man? In front of the Lord. Okay? Imagine you're about to meet the Lord. All right? Okay? You're going to be with the Lord and talk to him and whatnot. He's going to see you. All right? What are you going to wear? Exactly, man. Wear what you're going to wear if you're about to see the Lord. Okay? Don't be wearing, shorts, man. Because Pastor Har says so, man. So from here on out, I'm not going to wear shorts. And Salachya. If any brothers, I'm open for rebuke and correction, man. This thing is about me, about my will, about what I want to do. This is about the will of the Lord, man. And the Lord and Yahweh Shemel Shai speaks, all right, through his sons, his prophets, all right, which are the men of Great Millstone and the followers of Great Millstone, man, okay, who follow after the same doctrine, which, hey, I'll follow after that same doctrine, man, and if, Apostle Dahar says, don't be wearing shorts, I'm not going to wear no shorts, man, so yeah, man, little correction video on myself. And but no, I was gonna say, if you brothers want me to take it down, let me know. I'll take down the video. It's just, I was gonna take it down myself. It was just an hour long live lesson. I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I want to take that down, man. But if you brothers want me, if you Akim, want me to take it down, I'll take it down. I'm more than happy to, man. Showing my calves and my arms and whatnot. I'll take it down, man. But no, there was a lot of edification in that video, so that's why I didn't take it down. So, but this is 1 Corinthians 14:40. It says, "Let all things be done decently and in order." Okay, and that includes what we wear. Okay, wear something decent and orderly. Not like you're about to go to the gym. No, we're not going to the gym when you go out there and preach and prophesy. You're going out there to prophesy, man. All right? Not going out there to show off. There's nothing wrong with looking nice, okay? Looking presentable. Wearing some nice shoes, some nice Jordans, nice, Air Maxes, Nikes, or whatever, man. All right? Nice pants, nice shirt. Throw you some jewelry on. But that's not why we're out there. Just remember that. We're not out there to show off. We're out there to represent the Lord. Okay? So do it decently in order. All right? Leviticus 18:7. It says, "The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness." Salachya. Okay. Leviticus 18:6, the previous verse. "None of you shall approach any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord." So this goes into incest and whatnot. But hey, we're all brothers here, man. In this truth, we're brothers. Spiritual brothers, and distant Israelite brothers, man. All right, distant blood brothers. We're all Israelites. In this truth. Okay, if you're not in this truth, this thing don't matter to you. So, we're brothers, man. So cover up, man. We don't gotta see each other naked. We're not. No, man. Don't be like the heathens, like the scriptures say. Don't be as the heathens. All right. Don't follow after the ways of the heathens. And the heathens love being naked, man. All right. They like that perverse ass spirit in ways, man. They like being naked, seeing each other naked, doing the gym. They, being naked and what. That all comes from the heathen. Those tribes. All right. That live off grid. They're freaking naked. They only have a cloth covering their balls. They're not their balls, but the crotch, and that's it. Everything else about them is naked. That's not who we are, man. The Lord told us to be separate and holy. All right, holy means separate, man. Okay. All right. All right. Verse 8 says, "The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover, it is thy father's nakedness." Okay. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father or daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home. All right. This really goes into incest and whatnot, but hey, man, just to bring the point home, man, cover up, man. All right. All right. Don't wear shorts. I'm not going to wear shorts. You brothers can't shoot. I'm not. I'm going to tell you no, because Apostle Dahar said no. All right. Which, hey, the Lord put the Spirit upon him to say that. All right. All right, so I'm going to bring Revelation 1:13. It says, "And in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man," talking about Yahweh Shai, "clothed with a garment." All right, his garment down to the foot. All right, so our garments are technically supposed to be all the way to the foot, but anything past the knees, is good, man. All right, anything too high, hey, you're pushing it, and I got, those are orders given to me by the heads. All right, in my area. All right, the head of in my area. Okay, Mahalaya. Okay, he told me to change my garment, to get a longer garment, man, and I did. That's why I said Salachya, for the garment that I wore. I forgot mine at home, and if it was up to me, I would have went back home and grabbed me one, grabbed one of my garments, but I was in a time crunch, and I just wanted to do that lesson, man, So our garments are supposed to be long and really for the sake of covering us, man. All right. Why down to the foot? Because we don't need to be showing off our legs, man. The scriptures say to gird up thy loins. That's for wartime. We're not in wartime, man. We're we're in the time to prophesy and preach and edify and exhort. Zephaniah 1:8 says, "And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's children and all such as are clothed with strange apparel." All right. Wearing shorts, wearing a t-shirt, that's technically strange apparel, man. All right. Because we all wear garments and long sleeves and undergarments and whatnot. A t-shirt is an undergarment, man. So how much more a tank top, That's an undergarment, man. So you're basically out there naked, man. If you're just wearing a tank top, exposing your shoulders, Hey, but hey, I see all the time, some brothers exposing their shoulders and whatnot. Hey, who am I? That's between them and the Lord, okay? But hey, I don't want to expose my shoulders, man. I did in the past. I wish I didn't, because just, hey, the point is to be spotless and blameless in this truth, man. Okay, be modest and do everything decently in order, okay? So yeah, man. wearing shorts, that's strange apparel. Basketball shorts. That shorts. That's strange apparel, man. Okay. Because that all comes from the heathen. A T-shirt that comes from the heathen. It goes back into the 20s. The submarine times. When the submarines were first invented. The workers. That they wore T-shirts, and it just carried on from there. Now everybody wears a damn T-shirt, man. Back then people wore garments. And then under that, they wore clothes, man. Under the garments. People were fully clothing each other, man. They weren't showing off their muscles and whatnot. I mean, in the wicked empire, yeah, but I'm talking about like the Israelites, man. We were covered up, man. Look at the pictures of the Moors. They were covered up, Okay. So yeah, man. I hope this was edifying to the elect. I ended off right there. Shalom.